Hey guys, thanks for clicking on and spending your time with me today. If you are new here, I am a married mother of two and this is our family budget. So if you'd like to stick around and join the journey, please consider hitting the subscribe button down below. We'd be more than happy to have you here. And if you are a returning subscriber, thank you so much for your continued support. It really does mean a lot to me. I do just want to preface to say that I still have my sore throat that I explained about last week. So if there's a few coughs, then I apologise. But we're going to try and get through this with no coughing and no spluttering. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the rundown of what we've spent, because I am rather impressed with myself that I am still tracking, and I haven't forgot to track so far. Can you see? Yes. That squeaking, I apologise, it's the chair that I'm sitting on. There is really nothing I can do about the squeaking right now. My partner, if you're new here, he had an eye surgery last week at some point, and he is currently just sleeping all the time just to try and fix his eye a bit. So he's downstairs in the bedroom, so I have had to move everything upstairs to use the desk. So what we are going to do is I am going to colour these in and explain as we go. So we had our reset on the 20th of our £90 that we have pretty much every week. And then what we did is my partner fancied a calf because his appetite just really wasn't there. So we thought it was better for him to have something rather than nothing. So yeah, he had the biggest sandwich I have ever seen in my life. We did with the hospital visits and stuff, with my uncle being poorly and then my husband having to get his eye checked quite a lot. We did go into overdraft with the bank because you can't pay cash at the car parking spaces at the hospital that is closest to us that everybody went to. So I did just end up tapping my card, and this was also for some lunches as well. So I did transfer the £20 over to my overdraft just to stop that from being in the negative, and that came out of our weekly spend. And then we added the £20 into the London wallet, which we do every week anyway, because we are hard saving for a trip in London in April for Easter. Now, I did have a day round the market and I couldn't believe the fact that I came across a Zara coat. Now, I'm not one to buy from markets normally, but my son had ripped his coat the day before and I didn't really have time to go and pick one up, if that makes any sense. I know that sounds horrible of me, but I've literally been non-stop the last couple of weeks. And as I was walking through the market to get stuff for tea, I saw that there was someone selling coats. Now, it was a second-hand one, and I thought maybe it would just deal with him until I could go and get another one. When I picked it up, it was a Zara coat, and it was camouflage, which is my son's favourite pattern ever. And it only cost £7, so I thought I'd just buy that. And now he refuses to let me buy him another coat from a shop and says he wants to keep that one. So I am more than happy for him to get through winter on a £7 bargain coat that I found on the market. So that was out of our money wallet. And then I also spent £3.50 on some pizzas because I was going to go and get some fresh meat, and then I realised that I'd have to cook that fresh meat, and so we relied on pizzas. And then I got some fuel from Morrison's. Now, this absolutely amazes me. We have a new car, well, a newer car. It's a 2019, but it is a diesel. And it is costing us so much less to run this car than it did the petrol that we had, which I'm not sure that's really the route that the government is trying to take, but I didn't understand just how much more cheap diesel cars were. And then on that note as well, we had £650 come in from scrapping my car and my partner's car. So that was an income, and because I am tracking absolutely everything, or attempting to track absolutely everything, I wrote that in. And then what I did do, because I didn't want to leave the money in my bank, because I know that if I leave money in my bank, it's going to be spent on I don't know what, I will fall back into my bad habits. So I transferred £400 of that into the car saving pot on my Monzo, because I didn't want that much money left in my house, because it just doesn't feel safe. And whilst I was at it, I also took £250 out of the emergency fund wallet and £500 out of our London wallet, and took that to the bank also, and I transferred it into my Monzo account, which, can you see? I did a screenshot because I know that if I logged into my Monzo to show you guys, I would completely show information that doesn't need to be on the internet. So this fuel we're going to ignore because that is for February's fuel. I am going to do, I think, part digital, part actual real money wise tracking, just because there was a burglary just down the road from us. Their house unfortunately got broken into, and it's put me on edge to have that much money in the house just now, because if, touch wood, fingers crossed, we were targeted, there is no way that the insurance will believe that I had £1,000 sat in the house in a wallet, because it doesn't really seem something that's done these days. Does that make sense? I hope so. So we have £500 in London, £250 in emergency, and the £400 in the car envelope. This is for fuel next month. Short story long, pretty much I have decided we are going to put our fuel money into the Monzo account and use that to pay by card for diesel, because the cheapest petrol station is card only, and I don't see the point in getting the cash out to then pay extra for the diesel, when if it was on my card I could get it cheaper. Does that make sense? Yeah. I hope you're following along with me, because goodness knows I'm not following along with myself. Excuse me. And then the last two things, let me just check my colour before I get the colours wrong and get annoyed with myself. Blue means that money was spent out on, oh goodness me, as if I've just done that. Oh, no. I was doing so well getting all the colours right as well. I was literally just talking about not getting the colours wrong. So, that will just have to be dodgy for now. Yeah, we had £2 come in. I found £2 in an old coat of mine, so yeah. And then my partner had another one of his cafe sandwiches, because that's all that he fancied, and his appetite is just now making appearance again. Well, I say just now, he came out of the hospital the night after his operation, and he ate a Whopper meal from Burger King along with extra fries and extra nuggets. So his appetite was there that day. The day after, it was disappeared again. So he said he really fancied one of those. So obviously I'm going to go and fetch it for him, because I'd rather him eat something than nothing, especially with him being diabetic. So flicking on to tracking this week's leftover money, if you're still here. We have £10 of fuel money left, because we, as I said, haven't been spending it. So, oh, I have the wrong pen. Bear with me. Get my blue pen out. I'm not making the same mistakes that I did last week. So we have £10 left. We spent 20, and I'm hoping this is going to keep being the trend, because I'm more than happy to spend £20 a week on petrol rather than diesel than the full £30. Family wise, we have 5, if I can get it out, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 50. 10.50 left, which means we spent £29.50. Is that right? 30, yes. And then London we don't track anymore. So just for now, I'm going to shuffle this spare change over here and make a right bracket. And I apologise if you wear headphones. So now, as I was saying, fuel wise, we're going to use 30 still, just until we know if it is a new trend that we are spending just £20 a week rather than the actual full 30. I'd rather have it planned there in case and have extra than not have enough and have to borrow it from somewhere else. So but yeah, this is now digital. It is in my bank, ready to be put into the tank later on today, because the new car I absolutely love, but it likes to tell me every 50 miles left in the tank that we are running out of petrol and need to top up soon. And then it also gives me a reminder every 5 miles, which is absolutely driving me crazy. But there is a way we can switch it off, we have been told. It's just, I have to have the effort to go and sit out in the cold to work out how to do that. Soon enough I will. Right now, I don't have the brain space for it. And then we have our £60 income as usual for the weekly, and £40 will go into family and £20 into London. So let me pop that away while I can. I am already going into the wrong binder. Also, oh goodness, as if I picked up the right binder and then put it down and got the wrong binder. I am all over the shop. This fuel needs to be taken out of there because, as I said, it is in the bank, and that will be popped to here to go into the rollover for when I do my monthly stuffing. £20 into London. Now, as a side note, while I've just seen it in my eye, I did have some lovely, beautiful trackers sent to me by LJ Budgets, but right now, as I am learning the online stuffing type thing, I've decided not to use them just yet because I don't want to keep pulling them in and out my envelope and then having them get ruined. I know that really doesn't make sense because that's what they're made for, but in my head it does. So what I've done is I've just got on a bit of paper, scribbled down London on the top, and I've tracked that I have £500 in my Monzo account, and I put it in there on the 24th. I feel because with London I'm going to be paying for the Legoland tickets and parking and all different kind of bits soon, so it will drop below 500. What I'm going to do is I'm going to leave this just to be tracked as paper for now, because I feel like paper's my favourite thing at the moment. So yeah, and there is also one to save in the car wallet, which obviously I can't show you because it's not in here. Let me pop over and show you. This has turned into a bit of a waffle, isn't it? So it's the same here with the emergency. If you can have a peek in here, see, it says 250 in Monzo, and the goal is to get that to 500, so I'm hoping that it won't take too long to get there. So let's put away the rest of this money. This £40 has to go. I can see my binder slowly falling over, and I'm not about to stop it because I can't be bothered today. Yep, that goes into there, and that can be zipped away for when we need to use it. I absolutely love this purse, so I'm so glad that I won it from Scottish Mama Budgets giveaway. It is the most beautiful, helpful purse ever, and I have had a compliment on it for how it has this kind of, I told you that binder was falling, didn't I? This kind of accordion uppy thingy bit. I was told by an old lady that it is how she used to track when she was our age, and budgets were a lot more strict because apparently it was during the wartime, and it was such a very interesting conversation. Like I absolutely love sitting there and talking to people that have been anything to do with the war. It blows my mind that there are still people. I know this is going to sound rude, but but it blows my mind that there's still people alive that were actually living during war times, and I just want to hear every story, all of the stories, because it just really interests me. Does that make sense? I don't want to sound insensitive that people lived through a whole war and I'm sat here, oh yeah, that was interesting. Obviously it wasn't to them, it was scary, but I'm sure you guys understand what I mean. So that's all of that tracking done for now. I'm going to pop that over there out the way. I'm bringing my savings binder. That's not my savings binder. This is my savings binder. I'm going to lay those down because they're going to fall over again. Right, so I have 150 I have pulled this out because it's driving me crazy how it's making a mark over here. And I am going to do an ester and waft it, and then waft it a bit more when we're off camera because I don't want to be wafting wind everywhere. So that 50p has to go in there. And then I have 1, 2, 3, 4, oops, this £5 coins. 1, 2, 3, 4, £5 coins. Waft it a bit. And that can go over there. I'll put it away later when it's dry because I feel like that's the best thing to do. And then what I am going to do with this £15 is we have decided that we are going to snowball our savings halfly. Does that make sense? So anything that's left over in terms of this weekly money, we are going to work hard on stuffing our long-term binders. So the first one we are going to work on is the emergency wallet. Now the challenges that I have will be stuffed from our main monthly income. I have set aside a few bits and bobs for that because I want to try and get this completely funded as soon as I can. So this tracker is from LJ Budgets. I have made a bit of a mess of it because the ink just going everywhere, so I need to add another £15 on. Now I can't track the full £15, but what I can do is I can track the £10 and leave the £15, the £5 in the wallet, and I'll just scribble that in when I get the next £20 lot. So that's going to have a bit of a waft. Chuck that over there. My chair is squeaking and I am going to put this into here and call it a day, I think. Is that everything? I've done my weekly stuff. I've showed you the spending. I wrote it down. Done that. We are done. So, I'll just say a quick thank you to everybody that has supported me over the time with everything happening with my partner and my uncle. It actually turns out that my uncle came out of hospital with his poorly foot and ended up having a mini heart attack. Now, I know this is going to sound very strange, but kind of back to front, it was a good thing that he had the mini heart attack and it wasn't like a full-blown one, as my uncle lives alone and we didn't know about it until the morning after and we took him to the hospital. But they have now found the issue that was causing issues everywhere. The left side of his heart isn't as strong as the right side of his heart, so they have now put him on heart strengthening medicines, which will then in turn have a knock-on effect that his body will pump blood faster and better around his body, just like a normal person's heart does, which will in turn have a knock-on effect to then help heal his foot. So in a roundabout the houses kind of short story long kind of way of telling you guys, we aren't happy that he had the heart attack, but we are grateful that it was only a mini heart attack, because now the hospital know how to help him get better. Does that make sense? I'm sure it does. Right, so no further waffle. Thank you so much for spending your time with me. I really do appreciate you guys. You make me so happy, and I will see you for my monthly stuff whenever that is, or Friday for the weekly, whichever one comes up first. Thank you. Bye.